What's up, guys? So, I've been doing a lot of thinking. I want to share some thoughts with you guys. Before I start, I'm out on a walk, just a short walk today. I'm trying to do a bunch of skits and stuff when I get back, but trying to keep the exercise going. But to be honest with you, this is my first walk in the past 4 or 5 days since I pulled the wagon and went back out, pulled the wagon again. But been having a lot of negative energy that's been really challenging me. And I mentioned before in a previous episode that I was labeled a martyr and thrown out of rehab. Well, technically removed from rehab and put into the mental health portion. And the whole time that I was in rehab, we discussed with my therapist, counselors, everybody, even other people that had, volunteered to work there, that had gone through the experience before. And they all say mental health and alcoholism or addiction in general go hand in hand. I say that there is a reason why people continue to go to rehab. I mean, think about it. How many people do you know that have been to rehab multiple times? Just think about that for a second and then consider the whys. Why do people repeat rehab? And this is why I got thrown out. I actually believe that mental health should be the priority. Once you can beat or defeat the chemical dependency part, the rest is pretty easy, as long as you can maintain your mind. I don't know if you guys suffer from delusional thoughts like I do. The voice, the chaos in my head is often so loud that it handicaps me. And in the past, that's why I chosen to have a drink or whatever. It was to, in a way, mute the negative voices in my head to get me that temporary fulfillment, right? So I guess what I'm trying to say is, once we understand that people who are suffering from addiction and alcoholism, whatever that be, if you don't address the mental health part of it as the top priority, they're going to keep coming back. Because once we've defeated the chemical dependency, the only thing that's left is what's going on in the mind. We give way too much power to labels, way too much faith in medical treatment. And I think it's a rigged system. You're gonna find out you're an alcoholic, so you're suffering from depression, so let's go get you some medicine to take. Bullshit. Imagine if we actually didn't give so much power to words, and instead we took a second to say, look what society does to people. There are more people struggling than not nowadays, financially. And the whole reason why rehab fails is because once you understand that it's a system of hurry up and make this person right so they can get back to being a productive part of society, that's the issue. Forgive me if you're somebody that actually does care. I'm allowed to say what I'm saying because I have the experience, and in my experience, nobody gave a shit about me. They kept me an extra week in bed because I had Medicaid at the time, and because I was paying that, I was covered in insurance. They loved me there, except for the fact that I became a martyr. People started knocking on my doors wanting to talk to me instead of the counselors and therapists, to the point where finally my young therapist, who apparently was an alcoholic at 18, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, you can't be an alcoholic at 18. You haven't even started living yet. You can have a chemical dependency on alcohol and you can have an issue with it, but it's up here. It has nothing to do with alcohol. I guess what I'm trying to say is, if it's working for you, if the Alcoholics Anonymous, all that stuff is working for you, then great, good for you. Proud of you, stick to it. But for the rest of you, instead of continuously going back to rehab looking for answers, you know, like the solutions in a bottle, think about all the shortcuts we take as a society. Seriously, probiotics, for example. You're having issues with your gut, and gut health's a major concern these days, and it should be. But guys, there's food. If you actually change your diet and you take care of yourself and eat right and exercise and all those good things, you won't have gut health issues. Why do we continuously look for shortcuts? That's my dilemma. It's because of this society of consumerism that we think that we can continuously take shortcuts. I've had people call me in the past couple weeks and they want me to give them the answer. I don't have answers for you. I have the answers for myself. I understand my truth, and I'm trying to be a role model and an example, setting the tone so people can do what they need to do to fix their lives. But the bottom line is, quit leaning on these crutches. We gotta stop. That's the system. There's a systemic thing in society of consumerism, and this whole just get over it, or just grind it out, just do it. Bullshit. Focus on your happiness. You do not have to do what everybody has historically told you have to do. This whole grind mentality, it's dumb. If you're not happy at your job, don't go there. Take care of yourself first. You are the priority, because if you aren't happy, kids, whatever, whoever's dependent on you, they're depending on your happiness first. If you're happy and you're able to love, because you truly are happy, you can love, right? But when you're carrying all this negative weight, all this negative energy, you project, and you can't even control it. You automatically project on the others. So we have got to figure out how to stop this. I'm not trying to completely abolish the way things are. I do feel like there are people that are so chemically dependent on their substance that we do have to go through detox. We do have to love them in a different way and figure out how to get them off of their dependency. But the majority of you guys need to understand this. Address your mental health. Once you understand what's going on upstairs, I promise you, you'll be motivated to make the changes. It's still hard because we have our routines, right? And that's why I've struggled the last 4 days. I've struggled just to get my ass up out of bed just because the negative energy that's around. I don't want to deal with negative energy. But at the same time, I know that there's a reward for me getting up and pushing through that. And that reward is great. It's worth it. So we got to get there. Quit leaning on your pills. Quit leaning on doctors or somebody to help you. You are the only one that can help you. Guys, besides that rehab stint, I don't go to the doctor. I haven't been to the doctor. I haven't been to the hospital in 20 some odd years. I've never had a doctor in my entire life, even growing up as a child. I don't want to say things to offend people, but if you think about it, it's that state of mind, that consciousness that you're depending on somebody else to help you that is constantly keeping you sick. So it's time for change. It's time to do something different. And I think step one is understanding that the most important thing that you can take care of in your life, for everybody, yourself specifically, is to take care of your mental health. When you don't feel like doing something, make your ass do it. You know, if it's on the list, if it's on those goals that you set for yourself, get out of the house, go do something else. Change your routines. Never drink alone. Never drink when you have that bad energy or use your substance or anything. The best thing that you can do is go work it off with exercise, just go for a walk. Just walk. Look at the beautiful country. Look at the skies, the grass, the whatever. Just get out of the house, do something different. That's the challenge that I want to challenge everybody today. Quit leaning on people. I think I'm going to try to rewrite the book of Alcoholics or whatever, the Big Blue Book. It's time. That book was written in 1939 Prohibition ended in 1933. The state of consciousness as a society was, we're approaching the Industrial Revolution. It was work, it was grind. And I want to be clear too, is like, you can reward yourself. You should reward yourself. Is it more excruciating if you are accomplishing all your goals and everything, and you don't have a mental health issue? Have a drink, celebrate, rejoice. I mean, shoot, Jesus can turn water into wine. It's okay to celebrate and rejoice and reward yourself. But the biggest thing that you need to remember is, if you ain't right here, you cannot do anything as far as substances go, because it only takes that energy and manifests all the negative into you. So be clear-minded, never drink alone, and understand you're only trying to celebrate wins, but make sure you get there. All right? Good talk.